Recently, I went on a trip to Scotland, and well, honestly, I don't have a GMT in the collection, and I'm hoping to remedy that. So I reached out to my friends over at Bulova, and they were kind enough to send in their Bulova GMT. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
And so it's power for the Highlands, and Scotland looks to the future.
Now boarding at Concourse Gate number 8. All aboard Flight 93, please.
When the trim, smiling hostess appears in the doorway, you know everything is shipshape.
Find yourself a booth, order up a cold one. This is the Spring Bar. So let's go grab the dimensions for the Bulova Wilton we have here. We're going to go ahead and start with our diameter. Alright, so we got a diameter of 43 millimeters. We got a lug to lug of 49, so not too bad. Still a little rough for my 6.5 inch wrist. And then the thickness of 12.3, which, all right, off the bat, those dimensions, the only thing I take issue with is the diameter. I don't particularly enjoy watches that are larger than 41. Yeah, 41's stretching it, right? So why is it 43? I have no idea. That's just well, that'll have to be a question for Michael. But what I do really appreciate about the Bulova Wilton is that while it is a 43, which is really large, it wears fairly comfortable, and there's minimal overhang for such a large watch. And I think at the end of the day, the measurement I'm most concerned with is that lug to lug. So what we get are these dramatically curved lugs, which really helps to fit on smaller wrists. So yeah, I mean, if you're rocking a 6.5 inch wrist, you can still wear this. However, for me though, just with how large this watch is, that impacts my comfort in daily wear. Obviously, I have a preference for vintage sized pieces. This Bulova GMT is just such a good deal that you can forgive its larger size. So we just discussed the dimensions of this piece. Let's go ahead and talk about the case and the finish. Right here we have brushed on the sides, high polish in between the transition from the side of the case to the top of these lugs. The lugs themselves are brushed. Bezel is a high polish smooth bezel. Come here to this rather large crown, which is positive for your winding and setting. Of course, we got the tuning fork logo there on the crown. And then the real eye catcher here is the crystal, well, the real eye catcher here is this dial. This dial has what looks to be a machined or stamped globe on it. So you've got, you've got the globe on the dial, which is really cool, obviously tying in heavily with the travel theme of a GMT. You have applied markers and indices that are in Roman numeral format, as well as the tuning fork at the 12. You have a day and night inner bezel. So at the top you have this blue, darker blue, jean blue that blends in with the dial. And then at the bottom you'll have your silver indicating your day and night, as well as it's a 24-hour scale, as you would expect for a GMT. Moving on to the handset's rather elegant, so no complaints there. It does catch a lot of light here. I would say probably the anti-reflective coating could be better on this. That was one of the things that when it came to shooting this watch, it was a pain in the butt. But all the little markers on here catch light super intensely, which lends itself to the overall. I would say that this watch is a more dressier GMT. It's not a sporty one like Yema or Rolex produces. So if you're going to go with this, I think it would probably work better in a more formal outfit, suit, tie. So just be understanding that this is more so a dress watch, which makes me question why it's a 43mm watch if it's so elegant. A lot of these other elements are an elegant design. Why is it a hockey puck? Alright, so let's go talk the real reason why this watch exists and what we're here for, right? The GMT function. Pull the crown out once, and you can see right away that this is a true GMT with the independent hour hand. So go ahead and set this. For my instance, I set this to the local time in Scotland, and then pull out the crown all the way, and now you can set your GMT hand, which I set for my home back here stateside, so that as soon as I landed in Scotland, I'd have the local time running. And meantime, while I was still traveling to Scotland, I would check my GMT hand for my local time. And then obviously once I was on ground in Scotland, there was no need to monkey around with anything. I could read the local time back home easily. So this watch comes on a 22mm leather alligator reptile-ish strap. You got a signed buckle here. It's this butterfly deployant type double pusher here. My test always with these kind of clasps is if you grab them on both ends and wiggle them, how much wiggle do you get? And just like the Lunar Pilot, this is a very tight clasp. So hey, good on Bulova for that. I would, Bulova branded strap here. I would personally maybe swap this out for something that isn't a reptilian skin. It's just not my thing. But if you are, just note that it's 22, which is in keeping with the watch's overall larger aesthetic. So as I was looking for other watches that I think should be thought about if you're in the market for a GMT, watches that should compete for your attention, I actually did find it very difficult to find value that the Bulova offers. Let's go take a look at some of these findings. So our first option here is Baltic. It's a pretty quick and immediate top hit from a quick Google search. Really beautiful watch. Lots of vintage vibes. So the pluses of the Baltic is it's 39mm and it's got a lug-to-lug of 47, far more manageable with someone with a wrist like mine. However, the downside is, while it is an automatic movement, it is not a true traveler's GMT. Now I understand for some people that doesn't really matter, but here's where it should make a difference, and it's the price point. So for the Baltic, you're paying just under $1,000. I see it direct from Baltic at 920 euros. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty pricey for something that doesn't stack up to the Bulova. In my opinion, the only real competition Bulova has to face in the GMT, true traveler GMT space, is Traska's Venture. And they offer this beautiful watch at $695, whereas you can pick up Bulovas direct from them for about $700. So they're pretty much evenly priced. Now here's the catch though. With the Traska, you're getting a more sportier vibe. And the Traska does seem to have its own unique design, so I won't call it a homage to anything, but it does seem to be possibly inspired by the Oyster case. But other than that, it's certainly its own thing. The thing that Bulova is offering you for that $700 direct from Bulova is beautiful finishing, a true Traveler's GMT, and a unique independent design. This is not a homage to anything. When you are buying this Bulova, you are buying a Bulova, a standalone watch, something you can be proud of. So at this point, the thing you got to ask yourself is, are you okay with wearing a larger watch? If you got larger wrists, like 7.5 inches, okay, yeah, this is probably a very fine watch for you. Then the next thing you got to ask yourself is, what kind of style are you after? Would you like a more old school, elegant dress watch style? If the answer is yes, then Bulova is absolutely your watch. However, if you're looking for a Traveler GMT that is more sporty and suited to smaller than 7.5 inch wrists, then this might not be the watch for you. But nevertheless, this is one of the most outstanding value propositions out there. And even if you do have smaller wrists such as myself, you should still consider it, because Bulova has done an excellent job in designing these lugs with that very aggressive down turn that makes the lug to lug still fit within the, I would say, 6 3/4 wrist. My 6.5 is just barely noticeable overhang. So, take that into consideration. Hey, if you like this content, then please do me a favor. Drop a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this particular watch as a traveler's option. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram at time.hack1636 for daily content. And check out what the boys and I are doing over at the Spring Bar Podcast through our YouTube and Instagram. Thank you.